Yo, what's up guys? Bajheera here. This is going to be a World of Warcraft Dragonflight 10.1 Fury Warrior PvP guide. Now, before we even begin, I think that Fury is pretty darn good this patch. I think it shines in what we are going to be seeing a lot of this meta, which is fighting casters. Given that, I talked about this in the arms guide a little bit, I have not been playing it a ton, and I am speccing my warrior more into arms. So when you look at my gear on the armory, it's probably not going to be optimized for Fury on my main character, Bajheera. But I think what I will do is start to optimize one of my alts for Fury, so I can buy all the appropriate mastery gear, get him enchanted the right way, gemmed the right way, embellished the right way, so we can really pump as Fury. But that's not going to hold me back from telling you guys about what I think you might want to try out if you're interested in doing Fury Warrior. So what we can do first is go over the talents. I think there's probably a couple builds that you can play for Fury, two of which come to mind, but I think there's going to be a little bit of distinction between the two of them. So first things first, the main thing is going Annihilator, which is going to be spamming Bloodthirst, or going into Raging Blow, which is going to be obviously spamming Raging Blow. Some of the benefits and the positives, negatives, I guess, between the two builds. One, Annihilator is like super smooth, super easy to play, and probably a little bit more tanky, just due to the fact that you're spamming Bloodthirst constantly and giving yourself small little self heals constantly. What we're looking at right here is an Annihilator Onslaught build, first things first. But then the Raging Blow build is potentially more damage. You're definitely going to be doing some huge rampage damage with doing the Raging Blow build. And when you finally get your 4 set for Fury, that build's really going to come online with Raging Blow, because basically what you want to do is stack up this increased critical strike chance and damage on your Bloodthirst. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, but that's kind of the thing that I'm thinking about. Also, within the Annihilator build, you may be able to play either an Odin's Fury situation like we had played before, or an Onslaught version of this, which is what I'm spec'd for right now. I think, interestingly enough, this side of the tree is going to change like not at all. I think this stuff is going to be pretty standard, with the exception of moving this talent point around. So Bitter Immunity, you can put this into Wrecking Throw if you need it. You can put this into just Sidearm for damage, Concussive Blows for pummel cooldown, and a little bit of damage on casters if you pummel them. But it's really outside of, or you can put it in, you know, Menace like we talked about before. Outside of that, you really don't change this at all. You're going into Shockwave now, like we talked about in the arms guide, because it is a 3-second stun now. The cool thing about Fury is that you do actually press Whirlwind. So or sometimes you press Slam, so this talent isn't completely useless. That's cool. But yeah, everything else is pretty standard. I guess with the exception of this. If you decide to play with Odin's Fury, you may want to go into Titan's Torment. But for the Onslaught build, I'm pretty sure I'm just going Berserker's Torment. Just it makes Recklessness and Avatar both last longer. So when you press Avatar normally, it's gonna be like 20 seconds, now it's 27. When you press Rec normally, it's like 10 seconds, and then it's like 17 seconds, which is pretty cool. So you're pressing both the buttons at the same time, and it gives you like 20 seconds of both. And one of the things that sucks about Fury is that your cooldowns are a minute and a half. Everything that you do is a minute and a half cooldown. Recklessness, Avatar, and Dragon Roar are all a minute and a half cooldown. You're using them all together. So that kind of stinks, and you're not going to be taking Anger Management to reduce the cooldown, because you need to take Reckless Abandon. You may not need to take Reckless Abandon for the other build, but I'm pretty sure you still do, because you want your Raging Blows to be empowered as well. So that's kind of weird, but I guess one of the benefits of this build is that if you do this talent, then it makes those abilities last longer, at least. That's cool. Over here though, these talents are what is going to change massively between the two builds. Right now I have like a bunch of weird stuff set up for PvE and whatnot. I don't know if I have like an Onslaught Raging Blow build for PvP. But the main thing I want to talk about right now is because at this moment, without 4 set, I think Annihilator's still better. And potentially maybe even after, Annihilator's still better. Because the tankiness is one of those things that you're going to need to sort of survive the casters. And that's why Fury actually ends up being good. One of the reasons. Let's talk about this. Some of the key elements of this build, that a lot of this stays the same, like I talked about before. You could take these 2 points and put it into Odin's Fury if you want like AoE burst. That was the original build, but now I'm going into Onslaught, because Onslaught hits hard, and when you press this, Onslaught enrages you, and if you have Slaughtering Strikes, you get Slaughtering Strikes, and look at this, Enrage lasts 2 seconds longer, which is just so nice. So you're gonna be like perma enraged. You also have a chance to proc a Recklessness off of Onslaught, And if you combine that with this other talent, Enduring Rage, you're going to be proccing Wreck off of Onslaught, off of Rampage, off of just being CC'd. They changed the way Enduring Rage works, by the way, if you didn't notice. Now it is, you have a chance to become enraged while you are suffering movement impairing effects. While enraged, suffering a loss of control effect, have a chance to grant you Wreck for 4 seconds. So, like if you're slowed, you get stunned or something like that. I don't think it's like ultra good, but we will see. We will see. Like I said, I need to play this out more and try this out. Slaughtering Strikes doesn't do a ton for you when you're playing Annihilator, but look what it does when you're not playing Annihilator. It can make your Rampage do 100% extra damage with this talent. So that's where the Raging Blow build really begins to look appealing. And you would move your talents around a little bit. You would not be taking Storm of Swords and Annihilator. You'd be taking Improved Raging Blow, and you might be taking like Wrath and Fury. Maybe take another charge of it. You don't really necessarily need to, though, is the thing. But you're gonna be moving the points that go into Raging Blow in this thing too. But that's gonna be a build for later on. Right now, I'm sticking with Annihilator, I think. But we could theory craft that out for you. It won't take real long. We could actually even just do it in the video. But these talents are gonna work for you pretty well. I feel like Fury is just one of those kind of stick on one target and just keep your Mortal Strike on them forever and ever. And you should be able to do that pretty well, right? Because you'll have Battle Trance, which is generating 1,000,000 rage for you. You have Onslaught, which is giving you a nice chunk of rage, potentially even, I mean, it is enraging you, and potentially even proccing Recklessness for you, and Enrage is going to last 2 seconds longer, so you're going to be stuck to a target, permanent enraged, dealing big damage, and keeping a big Mortal Strike on them with this build, which is pretty darn strong. Before we, I guess, like dive into the potential Raging Blow build, what we could do is talk about your stats. Speaking of being enraged, so my stats, again, are not the way you want them to be. Fury stacks the heck out of Mastery. You still want versatility, but you don't really need to be stacking haste. I used to stack haste as Fury, and it felt pretty good, but nowadays, you really just want to go Giga Mastery. You have plenty of haste, you're permanent enraged, you are good. You have plenty of ways to generate enough rage to stay enraged and do whatever you need to do to have your rage up all the time and to keep your Mortal Strike stacks on targets, so you don't need to do haste. What you'd be doing is prioritizing versatility, mastery, haste. Crit is still a really low priority. You get recklessness to give you crit, but once again, crit's kind of devalued. Another thing you might want to do is craft the pants. So embellishment that gives you the like strength proc is great. Shadow Flame could be good on Fury. I think Fury, the Shadow Flame enchant starts to really pop off with Fury though. So this embellishment could be good, but you can also take the pants where you get a bunch of mastery when you're above 90% health. That's another thing to consider. You're going to want to be putting these gems into like probably mastery versatility or even mastery haste, depending on your stats. So you're going to want 75 primary stat plus a bunch of mastery. You're going to want the mastery, main piece wherever you can get them. Wherever you can't get mastery, you get haste. That'll include your weapons. You want double verse mastery weapons. And you're probably still enchanting for like speed, but you could enchant for leech. Fury runs really, really freaking fast. And so stacking more speed would be awesome, just to like blast and run at people constantly. You're going to want to put mastery on your rings. That's just the name of the game right there, boys. Super ultra mastery stacking for Fury. So you can have like 45% mastery in PvP, which is 45% more damage when enraged. That's crazy. So, and once again, Fury is kind of more of a single target guy, but if you're doing 45% increased damage constantly to a target, like that's big pressure. So that's where Fury shines. Rotationally, for Annihilator, you're spamming Bloodthirst and basically pressing, and maybe I can go kill something for you guys, even though my build's kind of not optimized. You're spamming Bloodthirst and maybe a slam or two to get you started. But you probably don't even need to slam that. You have Onslaught, generates 30 rage. And then you're just pressing like Rampage, Bloodthirst, 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 Rampage, Bloodthirst, Bloodthirst, Bloodthirst. And you can get a little cleave action with the rolling. But if you're bursting, then you have your macro that I need to show you. That should give you a ton of rage to get your first Rampage off. So that would be the Wreck macro. Deeps macro, probably want to put Rampage in this one, just because that's how I have my keybind set up right now. There we go. So your burst macro, I would go ahead and put Rampage in that, just so that whenever you burst, you're already casting a Rampage. But yeah, you can get the fight started just with Onslaught and Charge, then Bloodthirst, 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 Rampage, Bloodthirst, 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 Rampage, Bloodthirst. Find something else. Bloodthirst, Rampage, Onslaught, Bloodthirst, Rampage. So like, you get the idea. It's definitely one of the more basic like rotations in the game. I think I might not even have been Berserker stance there. It's funny. Definitely one of the more basic rotations in the game, but it's not unfun necessarily. It's just blasting through, chopping everything down. Fury Warrior is definitely one of my favorite like specs in the game historically, and it is a lot of fun. So that's this build. With the other build, you're going to be obviously spamming Raging Blow. I think you probably can still keep your enrage up a little bit more easily, just because of onslaught and stuff, but who knows. Alright, so this is the damage. You just want to keep on, especially in PvP, you want to make sure that you're getting rampage as much as you can just to keep your stacks up of your mortal strike. So for me, I'm kind of like weaving, right? Like I'm going to be weaving in the things that give me the most rage. So I'm not using Dragon Roar as part of that macro. The macro is actually activating with Rampage, and then you'll press like a Dragon Roar or an Onslaught to keep, you know, your rage flowing. So let's charge in, Rampage, Onslaught, Rampage, and then a couple more Bloodthirst, Rampage. You get the idea. With Dragon Roar as part of that rotation as well, you're going to have like maximum stacked, you know, Slaughterhouse just about immediately. So that's another reason why Annihilator is kind of my recommendation, especially if you guys are new to Fury. The rotation is just super simple. It's just about generating as many rampages as you can to keep your enrage up as much as you can, and just kind of single target pumping after that. But as I play more Fury, we'll bring out some more Fury content for you guys. Right now I've been playing mostly arms. But that should get you started, guys. Talent builds, stat optimizations, embellishment recommendations, enchant recommendations. That'll be good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys show it some love. Make sure you guys tune in into the stream. Generally streaming on weekdays. Gym stream from like 10 a.m. to noon PST. Gaming stream starts around 1 p.m. PST, goes to 5 p.m. PST. Take a little break. Come back around 8:30 p.m. PST to 11:30 or even 12:30 p.m. PST for our evening PvP and walking on the treadmill. On weekends, we only stream at night, but those nighttime streams are always live. And you guys can always check in on the VODs if you guys want to catch up on any content you may have missed, in addition to tons of videos here on YouTube for you guys, guides and gameplay. Definitely more of that on the way. Make sure you guys show the video some love. Leave me a nice little comment if you liked it. Follow on Twitch. Enable notifications both on Twitch and YouTube to see when content goes live. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.